I was 14 or 15 years old. I was in the back of a car with my friend from football. It was a Ford Escort XR3I. Here's my object. It had metallic blue paint. Back in the day, it was a pretty cool car. Me and my friend were in the back seats. Two of the adults in the front asked me if I wanted to join a youth club. What kind of youth club, I asked. What do we do at this youth club? Oh, we hang around the shops. We drive the cars around the estates. You know, the normal stuff. We had already been doing this for about 6 or 10 months. Sure, I'm already doing that. Why not? Yes, I'll join. Okay, well, there are a few rules. Number 1, you can't talk to Catholics. Number 2, you can't associate with Catholics. Number 3, in fact, you have to hate Catholics. I now knew what this so-called youth club really was. You see, in my council estate that I grew up in, there was only 1 or 2 families who were Catholics, and in one of those families was my best friend. They knew this, and they knew I didn't want to be a part of anything like this. But that night they initiated me into this youth club. I had to sit in the front seat of the shiny blue Ford Escort XR3I with metallic paint. And I sat in the front seat, and we picked up another couple of older boys from the estate. I knew them by their reputation. Then these 2 older boys and my football friend went and petrol bombed a prison officer's car. The rationale being that the prison officers were mistreating the loyalist prisoners at that time. I just had to be in the Ford Escort XR3I. We dropped them off, then we picked them up at a different alleyway. And I can remember the adrenaline and the hatred in their faces as they jumped back into the car after they had carried out their mission. They were buoyant and boisterous in the back seats, and in the front seat, I was dying inside. This is not me. I did not want to be a part of this. How can someone else tell you to hate your best friend? How can anyone tell us to hate someone else? That night, something inside me broke. It was so obvious to me that this was plain and simply wrong. Not only was it obvious that it was wrong, but something in my heart also broke in relation to how God sees other people. For God and Ulster was the slogan on my street. What God were they talking about? Jesus? Yahweh? This was nothing to do with God. This was a club, it seemed, that God had also somehow been hoodwinked into be associated with. I was not a follower of Jesus back then in this car. But I know God spoke to me that night in that car. He spoke to me about the beauty of people. This hatred they had was the opposite of how God felt. He spoke to me that borders and boundaries and a person's postcode does not define who they are. He spoke to me about how much he loves people from the other side of the road. They were his people as much as my people. Four Corners Festival doesn't just encourage us to cross to the other side of our road. Four Corners encourages us to stretch out our arms and our hearts across this beautiful city and beyond, to see the beauty of our Christian faith in Jesus Christ and celebrate and learn from each other how we can worship Jesus better. Four Corners encourages us to be better friends. Throughout the Gospels, Jesus elevated friendship. I would argue he elevated it even above family. Jesus doesn't call us servants, he calls us friends. We get to know him as our friend and also be known by him as a friend. It's the wonderful redemptive message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. 10 years in, the beauty and lasting legacy of Four Corners is that it humbly champions followers of Jesus to be better friends. Thank you.